Welcome everybody. This is a panel on RPG Maker horror games. This is a topic that me and my friend Bly here are very passionate about. It's what we bonded our friendship on mostly, watching these on YouTube, you know, like Let's Players and whatnot. But we just want to tell you about some of the games that we like personally, why we like them, things like this. Yeah, I think that's good. And yeah, so I guess we'll just get started. This is Palette Forget Me Not, and a lot of people don't know this one because it's really old. It was made with RPG Maker 98, and basically it's like exploration. It isn't really horror. It's more exploration than anything. And the guy that made the game, he won some kind of contest where he won like $10 million, so he made it into a PlayStation 2 game. And it's really hard to find pictures for this game, but we found a picture of the disc. It's probably like super hard to find. But basically you start out as this guy, Cyranos, and he's like a therapist, and you get a phone call from a girl who has amnesia, and basically you play the game mostly in her mind, and it's kind of like a maze. So you have like a health bar, and every time you do something, like you have to break mirrors to get to other parts of the game, you lose a health bar, and once it goes all the way down, you go back into the real world. And basically you just hit the phone button again and you just call her up again. And the story is set up, you go into the different parts of the game and you'll see like a cat or something, and she'll remember something about the cat, and it'll say on the side like scene 20 or something like that, and they're not all in order, so you have to go backtrack a lot, and there's a lot of like outlines of things like blood splatter and tables. And if you click on them, if she remembers them, they will appear in her mind. And it's really hard to find the game. We actually will provide a link at the end of the video with a Facebook page where you can find all the games and links to the downloads. But you might have difficulty with this one. A lot of people say that they can't get the colors to work right because the game in her mind is supposed to start out monochrome and then build color as she remembers things, such as like red, like the color red she remembers most prominently. So you will see a lot of like stains on the floor and on her shirt and stuff, and everything else should be gray. But a lot of people just get full color, but you can still play the game just fine. So that's all we really have to say about this one, because if I explain too much, it ruins the story, and the ending is total like M. Night Shyamalan twist. So it totally is. The next is Yume Nikki, and Yume Nikki is so confusing. Oh my god, I don't understand it at all. Like, basically, you're this girl. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Madotsuki or something like that. And you start out in her room, and the game takes place in her dreams, and you collect these things called effects, and they change her appearance and let you progress through the game. And I would just look at the wiki page because a lot of it is speculation on what the game is about, and like nobody really else has a name in the game but her. But you talk to a lot of people, and a lot of people like to give them names and try and explain why they're there in her mind. But it's pretty confusing, and I honestly, it's not my favorite game, but a lot of people like it, and there are a lot of fan games like Yumetuki and stuff like that. So if you want to check it out, we have the link on our page. And if you go to the next one, these are all the effects. And I know there's one that like people like to call poop head because it makes her head look like poop. Most of them are just like, either you get through the game with them or they're just like for fun. And she doesn't really talk much either. Sometimes she'll say like no or impossible if you try to pinch yourself to get back to the real world and she doesn't have arms. But I mean, you know, a lot of people like it, so I would check it out. And The Witch's House. The Witch's House is one of my favorites. Another game where a lot of the interesting stuff takes place at the very end. Yeah. And
I don't remember her name.
Ellen and Viola.
Viola, yes. So our main protagonist, you can switch to the next thing. Main protagonist, Viola, and she's walking around the woods, going to her friend's house, and so you go into like this big like mansion, and there's all these crazy monsters. It really scared me. And what were you saying about the flowers?
Oh yeah, like
There's some parts
it's
like,
puzzle, like there were a lot of puzzles, especially like with some flowers and.
Yeah, I didn't really, I played it, but I don't really remember too much about it, but I just remember that, like, the ending is, like, the part where you're like, what is going on? Like, oh my god.
That's great.
Yeah. We can go to the next one. This is Mies Out. It's one of my favorites. Why do I keep forgetting all the names of the characters?
Well,
I know you can change her name, but yeah, Nicholas has it. Aki. And so this one is like
it's like this schoolgirl and she gets bullied and they like treat her really, really bad.
yeah, it's one of
And-
those games. There's a lot of Japanese games where bullying is very prominent.
Yeah.
It's accepted in Japan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's probably why they do it so much. But yeah. So Aki, she kind of creeped me out a little bit just because she was totally cool with people dying and stuff.
Yeah, like Mies Out is supposed to be like a dead schoolmate of hers,
Yeah.
and she kind of is like haunting everybody. And
Yeah, and they go into kind of like they go into like different version of the school, and there's a lot of like flashbacks and things, and it's kind of like Misao wants everybody to pay for what they did.
like,
Yeah, but then you know like how it goes. I don't want to spoil it too much.
yeah.
Yeah.
And-
Mermaid Swamp. This is
Yeah.
what Bly likes to say about it because there's
Oh, it's a dream vacation because there's no electric in the house, and you know,
Total dream vacation.
just like some old man like leaves it there, and, like you guys are strangers.
Yeah, the game starts out. It's like you're on like a road trip, and then
Car breaks down.
yeah, car breaks down.
And this old man comes and he's like, yeah, come to my house.
Yeah, and then he's like, I'm just gonna leave for a couple days, and then you can stay here and watch my house. Like even though I just met you like 23 minutes ago, but so they agreed to stay, and well, why don't you show me this picture? This kind of happens.
First they think that she has
Judgy,
like a
shit.
cold, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Hashtag doctor's degree.
because everybody has a cold.
Totally. That's cold. Doctor's degree. I would know.
He's like,
I'm a doctor. Take a walk.
Scooter rules. I'm a doctor.
School rules. I got money.
it's really pretty.
But yeah, I know it's really gross. And basically, like this just happens. It just randomly happens to this one girl, and they don't know what's going on, and so they just kind of look around. And,
Original thing to do.
yeah, they don't know what to do, so they leave her by herself. And,
wow.
yeah, they leave her by
Nice.
herself.
That's logical.
Don't
So they're like,
leave the
yeah, we'll come
fireplace.
check on you later. You'll be fine. You won't die or anything. And so I mean, I thought she was dead. I thought this was death.
Yeah.
But
Apparently it gets worse.
well, yeah, it gets worse, especially if you turn the
It
fireplace
looks
on.
like she has a banana or a potato in her mouth.
Yeah, it's like,
It's like an apple.
oh god, it's so disgusting.
Or is that just like
Probably
bad
She
draws?
doesn't even have a neck. It's
I
just.
like
It's like horrible. This is great.
Doctor's degree.
Doctor's degree. Doctor's degree.
From Nicaragua.
But these are their mermaids.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Yeah, this is what they think a mermaid.
We're some Pirates of the Caribbean.
Can we eat their flesh and become immortal?
Yeah.
I'm
Like,
not talk about that part of the game. Beat the game and get the bad ending, and you'll know what happens when that happens.
supposed to be like some Japanese legend.
Ew, so gross. Yeah, there's like it's supposed to be a Japanese legend because they don't want people to come to the town, so they tell them that there's like mermaids that come out of the water and eat people. But pretty much it's just creepy Japanese men that take pretty girls and drown them to death. And
Oh, sounds
this
Then they kind of like freeze
That
in that
sounds
way.
Lovely.
So it's like, I don't know.
they like try to preserve them, kind of like one of the other games
Like
we'll be
in
talking about.
Psycho. How he tries to preserve his mom.